Alright, so let's go ahead and go over how to simplify and complete problems with radical expressions. For numbers 1 through 12 on your review sheet, you need to rewrite each expression using exponential notation. Basically, all that means is to take the nth root number outside of the radical and write it as an exponent. So instead of the cube root of 11, you're going to rewrite that as 11, and then that becomes the 1/3 power. For number 2, again, this is the 4th root, so that means 5 to the 1/4 power. Number 3 is the square root of 7, which is basically 7 to the 1/2. So remember that 2 is assumed on the outside of the radical symbol. Number 4 is 17 to the 1/3 power. Number 5 is 2 to the 1/6 power. Number 6 is 8 to the 1/4 power. Number 7 is 15 to the 1/3 power. Number 8 is 10, again, that assuming that that's a 2 out here, that's to the 1/2 power. Number 9 is 3 to the 1/7. Number 10 is 6 to the 1/5. Number 11 is 21 to the 1/8. And number 12 is 23 to the 1/5. Okay, so again, just taking that nth root number and writing it on the bottom of a fraction. On numbers 13 through 24, you needed to rewrite each expression using a radical symbol. And again, the radical notation is that symbol like we use for square root. So instead of 2 to the 1/3, remember that 3 is the root that you're taking. So you're going to put the 2 on the inside, and your 3 is going to take, that would indicate the 3rd root of 2. 4 on the bottom, so that would indicate the 4th root of 5. For number 15 would be the square root of 11 because of the 2. There's that line there. So again, you don't need that 2 on the outside, but if you wanted to write it, you could write it there. But you just do assume that it is the square root of 11. Number 16 is the 5th root of 6, the 7th root of 23, the 4th root of 31, the square root of 103, the 3rd root of 17, the 3rd root of 4, the 8th root of 7, the 5th root of 8, and finally the 14th root of 12. Okay? Go back to my screen here. The next set of problems, numbers 25 through 36, we want to actually evaluate each of these expressions. So if you remember, when I have the notation like this, I am looking for a number that I can raise to the 3rd power and have it equal 8. You can plug this into your calculator. And the way that you're going to plug this into your calculator is you're going to put a 3 first because you want to take the cube root, press your math key, and then you'll see that the nth root function is actually function number 5 in your math menu. So you press enter, and this is saying you want the 3rd root, that's what that x means, and then you put in the number 8 and hit enter. And you'll see that the 3rd root of 8 is 2. So that is what this is going to equal. So the 3rd root of 8 is equal to 2. And what that means is that 2 to the 3rd power is equal to 8. It's the same notation. So the number we filled in there for x was the 2. Same thing for number 26. You can just go ahead and plug it in your calculator. So you do 4 math function 5 and then 81. Oops. 4 math 5 81. And that's 9. Hold on. Is that right? Oh, it took my answer. Let me try that again. That is not 9. 4 math 81. Okay, my calculator's not working too good for me right now. 4 math function 5 81. Enter. And that's 3. Okay, 5th root of 32. You can plug that in as well. So 5 math 31 or 32, and you get 2. And so forth. Okay, sorry about that long pause. So you want to just continue working on those and putting those in. Once you get to number 31, that is where you're actually going to use the 1 with the caret. So you're going to put in 1 caret, parentheses 1 divided by 3, and that will give you to the 1/3 power. Press enter and then you'll get 1. Okay. One key that I want to make sure that you understand is when you're putting in ones like number 33 and 36, please make sure that you put your negative and you use the parentheses. So you want to do -8 and parenthesis caret, parenthesis again, 1/3. So when you're putting it in your calculator, again, make sure that you're actually putting it in correctly. Moving on to the next page. For each of these, you're going to evaluate these expressions, which means to basically simplify them as much as you can. For number 37, if you remember that you can write that third root as x third, and then everything raised to the 1/3 power. Power to a power means that I multiply the exponents. So 3 times 1/3 is 1, so it's x to the first, or just x. The next one is basically x to the 12th to the 1/6. 12 times 1/6 is 2, so that's x squared. For number 39, m to the 4th, n to the 12th, all of that is raised to the 1/4 power. And again, since I'm doing 2 powers to a power, I want to go ahead and multiply those exponents. So that's just going to leave me m when I multiply 4 times 1/4, and then n will be raised to the 3rd power. For number 40, you want to take the square root of both 25 and x squared. So the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of x squared is x, so 5x. For number 41, again, you want to raise the 16x to the 20th to the 1/4 power. So 16 to the 1/4 power is basically the 4th root of 16. And so when you take the 4th root of 16, you get 2. So the 4th root of 16 is 2, and then 20 times 1/4 is 5, so that's x to the 5th. For number 42, again, you want to raise p to the -3rd, s to the 3rd. Both of those need to be raised to the 1/3 power. So When you multiply, that's p to the negative first, and s to the first. Since p is negative, that means you're going to leave s on top, and p goes to the bottom, so s over p. Clarify that. For 43, again, both things are raised to the half power, so the square root of 9 is 3, or 9 to the half power, and 4 times a half is 2, so 3x squared. Negative 27 to the 1/3 power is basically negative 3, because that is negative 27 to the 1/3 power, and then 3 times 1/3 is 1, so negative 3x. 64 raised to the 1/6 power is 2, and then 18 times 1/6 is 3, so that is x cubed. For number 46, both of those are being raised to the 1/5 power, so negative 32 to the 1/5 is negative 2. X to the negative 5th is x to the negative 1st power. Therefore, since your exponent is negative, that's going to go on the bottom, but the negative 2 is going to stay on the top, so negative 2 over x. Square root of 16 is 2. 4 times a half is 2, so 2x squared. And finally, for the last one, raise everything to the 1/3 power. So 125 raised to the 1/3 power is 5. X 9 times 1/3 is 3. 15 times 1/3 is 5. Oops, let me make sure that y is down on the bottom. Y. So y to the 5th, and then 3 divided by 3, or 3 times 1/3 is 1. So that would be your answer for number 48. If you have any questions, please make sure you see Mrs. Conway before your quiz tomorrow.